So this is lecture number 6 in this series, and we are in the last lecture we basically derived state space model of some electrical circuits, and we are actually continuing with that. We'll now take an example of a separately excited DC motor. Fine. So let's see the circuit diagram. Here, in case of a separately excited DC motor, you have a separate armature circuit and a separate field circuit. Let VA be the applied voltage, uh, R is the armature resistance, LA is the armature inductance, I is the current flowing in the circuit, and let EB be the back EMF of this separately excited DC motor. Besides, we have the field circuit denoted by LF and RF. The field voltage applied is VF, and IF is the current flowing. So as far as this separately excited DC motor goes, it's rotating. So associated with this rotation will be torque as well as the speed of rotation, governed by the moment of inertia and the friction coefficient of the rotor circuitry of the mechanical parts. In order to derive the state space model of the circuit, let's assume field circuit parameters to be constant. That means we can apply a constant field voltage such that constant field current is flowing through the field circuitry. So by KVL, the electrical side, VA will be equal to IA RA plus LA DIA by dt plus the back EMF EB. Fine. VA is the we understand that VA is the input that's applied to this DC motor, separately excited DC motor. RA is the armature resistance. LA is the armature inductance. And current IA that's actually flowing through the armature inductance can be considered to be as the state variable. So armature current here basically represents one state variable, let that be represented by x1. Uh, Whereas while as EP is the back EMF, and we know the back EMF is proportional to the speed of rotation, and it's also proportional to the field current. As we have assumed the field circuitry to be constant, so it will only be proportional to the speed of rotation omega. Whereas KB basically represents the back EMF coefficient. So therefore, this equation becomes, since VA is the input, we can represent it by U. U is equal to RA x1 plus LA x1 dot plus KB times omega. So let this equation be equation number 1 for we have derived equation number 1 from the electrical circuitry, but as far as the mechanical portion goes, this electrical machine is also governed by a set of mechanical equations, and that actually govern the equation of motion. We know that for a DC motor, torque is equal to J times d omega by dt plus b omega. Right? Torque is nothing but uh, tau is nothing but the electromagnetic torque or the load torque for a balance condition. J is equal to the moment of inertia constant. Moment of inertia, not moment of inertia constant. Uh, Beta B rather is the viscous friction coefficient, and omega is the angular speed of rotation of the rotor. Fine. So from this equation, it's clear that omega is basically uh, varying with respect to its differential quantity. It's differentially varying with respect to time t. We can say basically omega is also a state variable of the system. So we will assume omega to be another state variable, that's x2. Now this is not, so this actually was induced because of the mechanical nature of the electrical machine. Uh, the electrical circuit equations we already know. We have established that current through an inductor and voltage across a capacitor are basically the state variables. Now, in case of electrical machines, there are other quantities that are differentially varying quantities associated with the mechanical nature of the system. Okay, so because of the mechanical nature of electrical machines, we basically have another state variable that's actually omega equal to x2. So let this be, so equation, this equation basically then becomes tau. Uh, as far as torque also goes, we understand it is proportional to the armature current. So we can write it as Kt times Ia, where Kt represents the torque constant. Right? And we already know that Ia is actually, we have already defined Ia as one state variable, x1. So torque is equal to so this equation basically becomes Kt times Ia is equal to J d omega by dt, that's x2 dot, plus v omega, that's vx2, right? And we know Ia is x1. So from here we can say x2 dot is equal to ktx1 kt by jx1 minus b by kt b by j x2. So this is equation number 2. So let this be equation number 2. Equation number 1, as far as equation number 1 goes, equation number 1 is u is equal to Rax1 plus Lax1 dot Rax1 plus Lax1 dot plus Kb times omega. Now we have already defined omega as x2, so this becomes Kb times x2. So from here, x2 dot is equal to minus Ra by La x1 minus Kb by La x2 plus 1 by La u. So this is equation number 3. Now equation number 2, this is x1 dot, sorry. So equation number 3 gives us x1 dot, equation number 2 gives us x2 dot. So putting them in the state space form, x1 dot, x2 dot is equal to x1 x2 plus something times u. So x1 dot is minus Ra by La x1 minus Ra by La x1 minus Kb by La x2 plus 1 by La times u, and x2 dot is kt by j times x1 minus b by j x2, kt by j b by j minus and 0 times u. So this is the state space model of a separately excited DC motor, and if we are actually controlling the speed of this DC motor, in the speed control, we can use, we may be actually controlling the armature current of the DC motor, we may be controlling the speed of DC motor, we may be controlling the position of DC motor. So in this case, let's assume that we are controlling the speed of DC motor, and therefore naturally we need output to be the speed of DC motor, and we know that output in that case will be equal to x2. So putting it in the matrix form, we have 0 1 times x1 x2 plus 0 times u. So this state space model was designed for speed control of separately excited DC motor. Fine. Now let me tell you, if we want to control the position of this, of separately excited DC motor. Now if you are controlling the position of this separately excited DC motor, that's actually theta, we need to have the information of theta as well from the state space model. But as far as the state space model goes, here x1 basically is Ia and x2 is omega and u is the input voltage Va. So there is no, from this state space model, there is actually no information about the position of the DC, of the rotor of the separately excited DC motor. So we want that, we want to have that information as well. So how can we find, how can we control the position of the rotor of a separately excited DC motor? For that we need to define theta as well as the state variable of the system. But how do we know that theta is basically the state variable of the system? We already know that omega, the angular speed, is equal to d theta by dt. This is a known, this is known to us that angular speed is equal to d theta by dt. Fine. So from here we can actually confirm that theta in this case is a differentially varying quantity. So we can basically then define theta as another state variable x3. We have already defined two state variables, x1 as ia, x2 as omega. Now we are defining another state variable, theta equal to x3. And if theta is equal to x3, what does this equation become? Omega is already x2. This becomes x3 dot, or in other words, we can simply say x3 dot is equal to x2. Well, as far as x1 dot and x2 dot are concerned, we have already derived them. X3, as far as x3 dot goes, this is equal to x2. So putting this in the state space form, we get x1 dot, x2 dot, x3 dot equal to x1, x2, x3 something times u. So x1 dot was minus Ra by La times x1. It was minus Kb by La times x2, and it's 0 times x3 actually, plus, and it is 1 by La times u. X2 dot, it's minus Kt by j times x1 minus b by j times uh, Kt by j times plus 0 times x3, fine, and 0 times u. And x3 dot, we have just seen it, it is nothing but equal to x2, 0 times x1 and 1 times x2 plus 0 times x3 plus 0 times u. And output in this case will be defined as position, that's actually x3. So we can write y is equal to 0, 0, 1, x1, x2, x3 plus 0 times u. So we have obtained actually two state space models of the same system, that's the separately excited DC motor. So why did we have two state variables in one case and three state variables in the other case? Because in one case we were actually only concerned with the speed control of the DC motor. In the next case we were basically looking for the control of the position of DC motor. And since the earlier state space model was not giving us any information about the position of the system, we had to derive a model that actually would give us the information about the position, the rotor position of the separately excited DC motor as well. So that means that actually suggests us that a system can have a number of state space models, and as already discussed, as already from the definition of state variables that I told you, it is the minimum amount of system variables that we choose that can be that are enough for us to uh, uh, that are basically relevant to us or are enough for us, sufficient for us to basically form the input output relationship and understand the dynamics of such a system. In the first case, since we are only dealing with the speed control, two state variables were enough, that's current and speed, were enough for us to find out the dynamics of the DC motor, to control the speed of DC motor. But it was insufficient, that state variable model was insufficient for us to control the position of the DC motor. So for position control we used much more an extended state space model that actually has three state variables defined, having three state variables, the armature current, the speed, and the position of the rotor. So any system can have different number of state variable models, but depending upon the how we are actually utilizing it, what purpose we are needed for, we can define, we can determine the state variable model uh, accordingly. So that's all for this lecture, and the basic idea today was to find out the state variable model of a DC motor for speed control as well as position control, and also establish the fact that a system can have a number of state variables model. It's only what requires us is actually sufficient for us.